advice could you give to young people in high school and college, given the highest of stakes things you've been thinking about? If somebody's listening to this and they're young and trying to figure out what to do with their career, what to do with their life, what advice would you give them?
Don't expect it to be a long life. Don't put your happiness into the future. The future is probably not that long at this point, but none know the hour nor the day.
But is there something, if they want to have hope, to fight for a longer future, is there something, is there a fight worth fighting?
I intend to go down fighting. I don't know. I admit that although I do try to think painful thoughts, that what to say to the children at this point is a pretty painful thought as thoughts go. They want to fight. I hardly know how to fight myself at this point. I'm trying to be ready for being wrong about something, preparing for my being wrong in a way that creates a bit of hope, and being ready to react to that, and going looking for it. And then that is hard and complicated. And somebody in high school, I don't know, like, you have presented a picture of the future that is not quite how I expect it to go, where there is public outcry, and that outcry is put into a remotely useful direction, which I think at this point is just like shutting down the GPU clusters, because no, we are not in a shape to like frantically do at the last minute do decades worth of work. We like the thing you would do at this point if there were massive public outcry pointed in the right direction, which I do not expect, is shut down the GPU clusters and crash program on augmenting human intelligence biologically, not the EA stuff, biologically. Because if you make humans much smarter, they can actually be smart and nice. Like you get that in a plausible way, in a way that you do not get it, that it is not as easy to do with synthesizing these strings from scratch, predicting the next tokens, and applying RLHF. Like, humans start out in the frame that produces niceness, that has ever produced niceness. And in saying this, I do not want to sound like the moral of this whole thing was like, oh, like, you need to engage in mass action and then everything will be all right. This is because there's so many things where, like, somebody tells you that the world is ending and you need to recycle, and if everybody does their part and recycles their cardboard, then we can all live happily ever after. And this is unfortunately not what I have to say. Like, everybody recycling their cardboard is not going to fix this. Everybody recycles their cardboard and then everybody ends up dead, metaphorically speaking. But if there was enough, like on the margins, you just end up dead a little bit later on most of the things you can do that like a few people can do by like trying hard. But if there was enough public outcry to shut down the GPU clusters, and then you could be part of that outcry. If Eliezer is wrong in the direction that Lex Fridman predicts, that there's enough public outcry pointed enough in the right direction to do something that actually results in people living. Not just like we did something, not just there was an outcry, and the outcry was like given form in something that was like safe and convenient and like didn't really inconvenience anybody, and then everybody died everywhere. There was enough actual like, oh, we're going to die. We should not do that. We should do something else which is not that, even if it is like not super duper convenient and wasn't inside the previous political Overton window. If there is that kind of if I am wrong and there is that kind of public outcry, then somebody in high school could be ready to be part of that. If I am wrong in other ways, then you could be ready to be part of that. But like, and if you're like a brilliant young physicist, then you could like go into interpretability. And if you're smarter than that, you could like work on alignment problems where it's harder to tell if you got them right or not. And other things. But mostly for the kids in high school, it's like, yeah, if it like, be ready to help if Eliezer Yudkowsky is wrong about something, and otherwise don't put your happiness into the far future. It probably doesn't exist.
But it's beautiful that you're looking for ways that you're wrong.